Hi everybody, today we're gonna read Tell Me Tree, All About Trees for Kids by Gail Gibbons. What do you guys see on the cover of this book? I see a big tree. I see the trunk of the tree. I see that the tree has branches, and I see that there are leaves, green leaves on the tree. Since there are green leaves, I think it might be either spring, late spring, or summer. Because in the spring, during the season of spring, leaves start to grow on trees, and during summer, growing has stopped and the tree is completely green. But in the fall, leaves start to change colors. But do you guys see different colors on here? No, I don't. I just see the green tree. And I see that there's a girl sitting under the tree. Maybe she wants to get some shade. Maybe she wants to sit under the tree. Maybe she's tired. She's relaxing under the tree. And I see two boys looking at the tree and they're pointing to it. Maybe they're talking about the leaves. Maybe they want to know what kind of tree this is. Do you guys know what kind of tree this could be? I don't know. Let's read and find out. And let's see what we're going to learn about trees. Let's see. Tell me tree. All about trees for kids. Tell me tree, trees. Trees are woody plants. Their trunks, limbs, and branches are their stems. So look, trees are woody plants. Their trunks, limbs, and branches are their stems. So look, the trunk, so look, we see over here the trunk of the tree. So this is the trunk of the tree. Then we see the branches. The little ones over here are branches. These are branches. And then we see the limbs. These long ones are limbs, the limbs of the tree. And then the little tiny ones are branches. And here is the trunk. And this is elm over here. So I think this must be an elm tree. Tell me tree. Some trees are small, no more than a few inches tall. Others are big and still. Others are huge. Trees grow almost everywhere except where it is extremely cold or dry or in places at high elevations. Trees, so let's see. So it says trees grow almost everywhere except where it is extremely cold or dry. So why do you think trees cannot grow somewhere cold? Why do you think? Yes, because probably the trees won't be getting enough sunlight, because somewhere where it's really cold, they're not getting enough sunlight, and somewhere cold, they're not getting sun. Trees and flowers need warm weather, warmth. They need to be kept warm in order to grow. And how about dry? Why can't trees or flowers grow somewhere dry? Because it won't be getting any water. And trees and flowers and plants need plenty of water to grow big and tall. They need plenty of water. So trees need light, moisture, soil, and space to grow. Different trees grow in different environments. Some like cold weather, others grow where it is warm year-round. Some trees like wet places, others grow in dry climates. So look, so we learned that trees grow into different sizes. So here, this is a small tree. This is a little bit bigger in size. This is a juniper. This is a pepper birch. This is a sticka spruce. This is a sugar maple. California redwood. Look how tall this tree is. This one is so tiny and this one is so tall. So look at the sizes. This is such a small, tiny tree, but this is such a tall, big tree. So trees are all shapes and sizes. Look, this is tall and narrow, but this is small and wide. This tree has many leaves. This tree doesn't have that many. So trees are different shapes and sizes. Some are tall, some are short, some have more leaves, some have less leaves. So then over here, we see that some trees need to grow in water, need to be somewhere wet. Look, this one's growing in the water. Some trees are able to grow in the cold weather. Look, this tree is still green, but there's snow on it. It's winter and it still has all its leaves. Look, this tree still has all its leaves, even though there's snow on the ground and it's cold and it's winter. Because some trees during the winter do not have any leaves, but this tree has all its leaves. Some trees can grow in warm environments. Look, this is a palm tree. So palm tree grows in areas where it is very warm. So look, some trees need more water than other trees. Some trees grow in areas where it is cold and they still have their leaves. Other trees can grow in warm areas. So we learned that trees are different shapes and sizes, and they can grow in different environments, different areas. All trees, even the biggest, begin their lives as seeds. These seeds come in different shapes and sizes. A seed sprouts when a small root begins to grow. As the root absorbs water and minerals, a teeny stem with just 2 small leaves begins to grow above the soil. So look. So here we see that in order for a tree to grow, it first has to start from a seed. It first has to start from a seed. So look, these are different types of seeds for different trees. So look, this is a white pine cone. Then this is a white oak seed. This is a red oak seed. And we saw for the red oak, we saw that, no, we did. So we saw that, look, this is the red maple. We saw this is the sycamore seed. So look, all trees grow from seeds. All trees grow from seeds. So first we have to plant the seed. Then we have to add water. Why do we have to add water? So it could grow, so the seed could grow. So we have to add water so the seed can grow. And then over here, look, it says that a seed sprouts when a small root begins to grow. So look, this is the root. The root is underground. So look, this is the root. And as the root absorbs water, so the root absorbs water, look, the root absorbs water and minerals. A tiny stem with just 2 small leaves begins to grow above the soil. So a baby tree is called a seedling. So this is a baby tree is called a seedling. So look, first we have the roots. The roots grow underground and they absorb water and minerals. And then we get the teeny stem. Look, we get a teeny stem. And then we get we get 2 leaves. We get a tiny stem and 2 leaves. 2 leaves. The stem and 2 leaves. So, and we said a baby tree is called a seedling. So we have a little seedling here. So we have the roots, the stem and the leaves. So this is a seedling. So this is the first step. Let's see what happens next. I wonder what's gonna happen next. In time, the stem becomes hard enough to be called wood. Small branches begin to appear as buds that turn into tiny leaves. The hard woody stem is called a tree trunk. A trunk is covered by a hard layer of wood called bark. Bark protects trees from weather and insects and animals that attack them. Different kinds of trees have different kinds of bark, hard or soft, thick or thin. So look. So here we have the trunk. So look, the trunk here is very small and thin. We have the trunk. And then we see buds starting to appear. And some of the buds are opening up. So look, in time the stem becomes hard enough to be called wood. So look, the stem becomes hard enough to be called wood. So small branches begin to appear as the buds that turn into tiny leaves. So small branches are starting to appear with buds on them. And they're opening up and are turning into leaves. And the hard woody stem is called a tree trunk. So look, the hard stem is called a tree trunk. So this is eventually going to turn into a big tree trunk. So look over here, we see that the trunk is covered by a hard layer of wood called bark. So look, this is the tree trunk and it's covered by a hard layer of wood called bark. So it's covered with another layer of wood called bark. And the bark protects trees. So the bark protects the trees from weather, from other animals. It protects the tree. The bark protects the tree. The bark protects the tree. And different kinds of trees have different kinds of bark. So look, every single tree has different kinds of bark. So look, this tree has darker bark and it's more bumpy. Look, this tree has smaller bark. So every tree has different type of bark, but the bark is on the trunk to protect the tree. So look, now the stem grows bigger. Now there's branches and there's buds. Before, there was only the roots and just the stem and two leaves. So look, now the tree is growing even bigger. So let's see what happens next. Underneath the bark is a thin layer called the pollen. The pollen carries the food made by the leaves to the branches, trunk, and roots of the tree. Next is the cambium layer. The cambium layer forms new growth from the trunk of the tree each year. The next layer, the spawood, is made of teeny tubes that carry water and minerals, called sap, from the roots to the leaves. The center of the tree is called the heartwood, dead and solid sapwood that gives a tree strength to stand. So let's look here. So look. So underneath the bark, there's a thin layer called the phloem. So underneath the bark, there's a thin layer called the phloem. And the phloem carries food, and the phloem carries food made by the leaves to the branches, trunk, and roots of the tree. So it carries food. It carries food made by the leaves to the branches, trunk, and roots of the tree. And then next is the cambium. Look, it's over here. The cambium layer forms new growth of the tree trunk for each tree year. So the cambium layer forms new growth for the trunk of a tree each year. So here we see each layer. So here's a heartwood, here is the sapwood, here is the folium, and here is the cambium. So these are different parts of the tree. And the next layer is the sapwood. It's made of teeny tubes that carry water and minerals called sap to the roots of the leaves. So the sapwood, this part, has teeny tubes that carry water and minerals called sap to the roots and the leaves. It carries water to the roots and the leaves. Let's see what happens next. Roots grow from under the tree trunk down into the ground. Teeny root hairs at the tip of the roots take in water and minerals from the soil to help the tree grow. Roots anchor a tree in the ground and help hold it upright. Most trees have as many roots below the ground as they have branches above. So look, the roots are a very important part of the tree. They're very important to the tree. The roots over here, they're very important part to the tree. So it says that roots grow from under the tree trunk down into the ground. So they grow from under the tree trunk down into the ground. So look, they grow down into the ground. Look, deep under the ground. Look, we don't see this. It's deep underground. So the tiny root hairs at the tip of the root take in water and minerals from the soil to help the tree grow. So look, these are the roots, the teeny tips, and they have root hairs. Look, these teeny tips have root hairs. And the tiny root hairs at the tip of the roots take in water and minerals from the soil. So they take in water and minerals from the soil. They take in minerals and water from the soil. From the soil, these root hairs take in water from the soil, and they take the minerals and soil and help the tree grow, and it helps the tree grow. Roots anchor a tree into the ground and help hold it upright. So the roots help the tree stand up straight and tall. So the roots help keep the tree straight and tall. Most trees have as many roots below the ground as they have branches above. So look, they have as many roots on the ground as they have branches. So trees have so many roots underground. We're not able to see the roots because the roots are underground. We're not able to see the roots because the roots are underground. But there's so many roots. There are as many as branches. Let's see what other part of the tree we're going to learn about. Let's see. The leaves of the tree make food for the tree to grow. The leaves pull up water from the roots and breathe in a gas from the air called carbon dioxide. Inside the leaves is a substance called chlorophyll. The chlorophyll in the leaves gathers energy from the sun. It mixes with water and the carbon dioxide to create food from the tree called sugar. This process is called photosynthesis. So look. So the leaves from the tree make food from the tree to grow. So the leaves on the tree make food for the tree to grow. The leaves pull up water from the roots. So the leaves get water from the roots. So the leaves get water from the roots that we just saw that are underground. And breathe in gas from the air called carbon dioxide. So they breathe in air from. They breathe a gas from the air. So they breathe a gas from the air that's called carbon dioxide. Inside the leaves is a substance called chlorophyll. So inside the leaves, there's something called chlorophyll. So look, chlorophyll, it's inside the leaves. So the chlorophyll in the leaves gathers energy from the sun. It mixes with water and the carbon dioxide to create food for the tree called sugar. This is a process. This process is photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is the making of food by plants. So look, photosynthesis. So this is when the chlorophyll in the leaves gathers energy from the sun. The chlorophyll gathers energy from the sun. It mixes with water and the carbon dioxide to create food for the tree called sugar. It creates food for the tree called sugar. Trees use food from their leaves to grow new wood, branches, twigs, buds, leaves, seeds, nuts, and fruit. The fruit of trees is often sweet from the sugar the leaves make. Trees need their food to stay alive and renew their growth. When leaves make their food, they also make a gas called oxygen. The leaves release the oxygen into the air. People and animals need oxygen to breathe. Most of the oxygen in the air comes from trees. So look. So these are some fruits that grow on trees. So apples grow on trees, oranges grow on trees, cherries grow on trees, and horse chestnut grows on trees. So these fruits grow on trees. And the crabapple grows on trees. It's a type of apple. It grows on trees. So it says trees use food from their leaves. So trees use food from their leaves, food from the leaves that we said they make, to grow new wood, branches, twigs, buds, leaves, seeds, and nuts, and fruit. The fruit of the tree is often sweet from the sugar the leaves make. So often the fruit of the trees is often sweet from the sugar the leaves make. So these fruit are sweet. So if you eat an apple, a cherry, an orange, at the right moment when it's nice and ripe, these are sweet. They have a sweet taste to them because of the leaves. Because of often sweet from the sugar that the leaves make. And then when leaves make their food, they also make a gas called oxygen. So leaves make a gas called oxygen, and we need oxygen to breathe. So we get oxygen from trees. They make oxygen for us to breathe. Although leaves come in different shapes and sizes, there are only two different groups of trees: evergreen trees and broadleaf trees. Most evergreens have needles that are thin, called scale-like. Because most evergreens keep their seeds inside cones, they are also called coniferous. These trees lose their needles or leaves a few at a time throughout the year. Broadleaf trees have flatter, wider leaves. Many grow flowers and fruits and produce different kinds of seeds. Most broadleaf trees are deciduous. That means they lose their leaves in the autumn. Some leaves turn beautiful colors before they die and fall. In the spring, broadleaf trees grow new leaves. So look, there are different types of trees. So it says that although leaves come in different shapes and sizes, there are only two different groups of trees: evergreens and broadleaf trees. So most evergreens have needles that are thin and scale-like. So evergreens have needles on them and keep their seeds inside cones. They are also called cornifs. These trees lose their needles or leaves a few at a time throughout the year. So the evergreen means that the tree keeps its needles or leaves all year. So the evergreen keeps its leaves. These trees never lose their leaves, even in the winter. So the evergreen do not lose their leaves. So the evergreen do not lose their leaves. Even in the winter, the leaves do not fall from the tree. They do not fall from the tree. But over here, we have the broadleaf trees. These types of trees lose their leaves in the fall. In the fall, they lose their leaves. The leaves come down. So these types of trees lose their leaves in the fall. But the evergreens do not. The evergreens do not lose their leaves. Their leaves remain on the tree even in the winter. But for the broadleaf trees lose their leaves. In what season? Fall. They lose their leaves in the fall. You can identify a tree by looking at the shape of its leaves. Some leaves are smooth-edged, some are rough-edged, some are very big and broad, others are small and thin. So you can identify a tree by looking at its leaves. So each tree has different shaped leaves. Some leaves are long, some leaves are short. So look, leaves have different sizes. So look, these are some leaves from different trees. So this is a cottonwood tree. Look at the leaf. It's pointy over here and it's rounder. This is a elm tree. Look, this one is not as pointy over here. It is more rounder. So look at the differences on each of the leaf. What are some differences that you see on each leaf? What are some similarities that you see? How do they look the same? How do they look different? Look, now we see even more leaves. These are leaves from a red oak tree, a sweet cherry tree, a beech tree, a sugar maple. Look. So look, the sugar maple, look, it's as if it has 3 different parts. But look here, the sweet cherry is round over here. It's not pointy. The beech tree is more thin and long. So some leaves are long, some leaves are short, some leaves are pointy, some leaves are round, some leaves are short, some leaves are long. So every leaf has its own shape to it. And by looking at the leaves, you will know what kind of tree it is just by looking at the leaves of the tree. So here are some more leaves. Here is the white pine, the pine oak, canary palm, and black walnut. So here, look at these types of leaves. How are they different from the other ones we saw? Look, these leaves look more thinner and they have more leaves attached to each other. What are some differences you see? What are some similarities? How do these leaves look different or the same from the other trees? What leaves do you guys see in your neighborhoods? If you guys go outside, are you able to see some of these leaves on the trees? Let's see what else we're gonna see. Trees are used in many ways. They are harvested for their wood to build homes and to make furniture, crates, paper, pencils, thousands of things we use every day. We eat the nuts and fruit grown on trees too. Many animals and birds make their homes in trees. Millions of trees are cut down each year. It is important to harvest trees carefully and to plant new ones. Future growth is important because trees make oxygen for people and animals to breathe. Their roots hold soil together to keep it from eroding. Also, they make the world a beautiful place to live. So look, we cut down trees and use the wood of the tree for many different things. We can use the wood to create pencils, paper, furniture. We eat the fruits from the tree. Many animals and birds make their home in trees. So many animals and birds make their homes in trees. And millions of trees are cut down each year. It is important to harvest them carefully and to plant new ones. So when we cut down trees, we have to remember to plant new ones. Because if we don't plant new trees, we're not gonna have enough trees, and we need trees. Trees are important because future growth is important because trees make oxygen for people and animals to breathe. So trees make oxygen that we use to breathe. The end.